Price's law in economics states that the square root of the number of employees do half of the work in an organization, but is there any empirical evidence within the literature that supports this? While Price's law is a commonly cited observation about productivity distributions in various fields, it's important to note that it is more of an empirical observation than a rigorously tested scientific law. There is no definitive proof of Price's law in the same way as there is for laws of physics, or econometrics for that matter. Direct studies specifically testing Price's law in organizational settings are surprisingly scarce. Most research focuses on broader productivity distributions without directly referencing Price's law. However, if we step laterally to the well-established power law distributions of empirical natural science, such as the Gini coefficient or Pareto's distribution, Price suddenly seems plausible once again. The Pareto principle, or so-called 80-20 rule, routinely suggests that a small portion of inputs account for a disproportionate number of outputs, aligning with the general idea of Price's law. For example, only a few companies sell most of the products within a given sector. In software engineering, some studies indicate that a small percentage of developers contribute significantly more code, if not aligning perfectly with the exact square root relationship. Similar patterns are observed in academic publishing, with a small number of authors producing a disproportionately large number of highly cited papers, although this may have more to do with power politics and political power distributions than extreme asymmetries of personal productivity. While it may be true that one employee or manager may outshine another, in complex human societies, people are often promoted to just above the limit of their ability or competence and then reined in, reallocated another task or role, or simply released, in what is often referred to as Peter's principle. Thus, while some members of an organization may be carried by more competent individuals, another manifestation of Pareto's distribution, if they exceed a given threshold, the organization will fail. Price's law is certainly an oversimplification of complex organizational dynamics, as measuring a metric such as work is challenging, especially when non-physical products such as legal advice or treating patients are considered. Factors such as teamwork, collaboration, and varying task complexity are not considered, or whether one individual's role is more complex or time-consuming than another's. Moreover, accurately measuring individual output in many organizational contexts is difficult, making it challenging to test Price's law rigorously. Thus, Price's law is more of an anecdotal rule of thumb, although, as the size and complexity of an organization increases, so do the number of ancillary, or supporting staff. Given the regulatory burden imposed upon organizations, especially large companies, the number of people employed in legal compliance, human resources, maintenance, cleaning, or general administration duly increases. For instance, the number of middle managers increases in larger organizations while they do not exist in smaller ones. Small organizations, whether these are local companies, law offices, or car repair shops, often have no dedicated manager or else one who does everything, and few, if any, have an in-house legal counsel, IT or HR department, and certainly no dedicated research and development department. Thus, while small organizations are necessarily leaner, they are not necessarily more efficient as they lack the compounded specializations necessary to perform more complex functions or provide more sophisticated products and services. This is linked to the proven concept of the division of labor, a driving force behind economic efficiency. Thus, whether we view organizations from a perspective of capacity, output, efficiency, or serving complex functions, Price's law seems plausible, if not immutable.